It's raining! Run! Oh my god, no! No. No fighting. You guys always want to fight at the wrong time. It's boring. Abby here today with another video. Today our topic is about what you believe. This is a tricky one because everyone's beliefs are different and you never want to push any beliefs on anyone, and let's get right into it. So why what you believe is important and plays a factor in how you can control your reality. Prime example that I always go to is like if you believe that money is bad, or all men are bad, or all friends are fake and this and that, you're never going to get past that belief because you're already assuming that everyone is like that. So you're not really leaving room for there to be like an exception to the rule. I started my beliefs journey was getting to know myself. I grew up going to Christian church. My mom was Buddhist and she studies like all these different things like art history, and that's like what her degree's in and everything. And she's taught me about so many different philosophical like religions and beliefs and stuff. And on top of it, like my grandparents were Catholic. I think my dad grew up Christian or Catholic. He didn't really like talk about religion or get into that. He seemed pretty like non-religious or belief in anything to me. But so I grew up with very diverse beliefs. I wasn't really forced to believe in one. I was kind of just like taught all these different things, and they kind of helped with like being open-minded. When I grew up, I still had to study what like resonated with me. And I remember that this started with me soul searching. So I always wondered, I'm like, we all have a soul, and I was really fascinated by that, and I just wanted to know who I was because I didn't really get to build too much of an identity or really learn who I was for many reasons growing up. And I really just wanted to know who I was inside and what I loved and what I didn't like, and create some sort of boundaries and identity for myself and just chase what I love. But you kind of need to know what your beliefs and what those things are. So, you know, it's as simple as this. I went on Pinterest and I went on Pinterest and just Google, and every time I had a question, I just Googled it, Pinterest it, and I Pinterest searched soul searching. And oh, you're so wet. We went out in the rain. But I Googled like how to find your soul, like how to soul search and everything. And all these little exercises came up. It was like questions to ask yourself about this, questions to ask yourself about that. And I just sat and I wrote down every day. Like I asked myself these questions, and then, you know, I went out and I did one thing a day that scared me, and so on and so forth. So really sitting down and asking yourself important questions about who you are on the inside and how you would act in this situation, and then reflecting like, is this who I want to be or not? Is this something that's part of my core, my energy, my personality? Is this trauma? You know, really going through all that really gets you to a point where you get to know yourself and you build these beliefs based on what you're learning about yourself. Pretty much how I see it and how I've experienced it is like the worse that your beliefs are, like the more negative they are, the more negative your reality will get. So, and the more that your reality will prove that part of your beliefs correct. It's really important to do that, you know, shadow work or just therapy, and dive into those beliefs that are negative or have some sort of bad feelings behind them or limiting beliefs behind them, and dig out, why do I feel this way? Is this really how it is? And try to formulate that belief into something that is hopeful, that attracts things, that causes you to actually see things for what it is and brings things to you and gives the option for abundance. And I think to really sort out your beliefs and stuff, you do have to get to know yourself. First, like tip for figuring out what you believe so you can therefore have more control of your reality and more direction, is getting to know yourself, is soul searching. I have so many notebooks, like I'm not even kidding, like that's not even all of them, like that's some of them, and I think there's more in that thing, and then I have some in there, yeah, and I don't know. So it's like, you know, I never stop doing this either, because it's like I look back at my notebook and I see my answers from like 4 years ago, and I'm like, oh my god, so much has changed. Like, and some didn't change because I figured out who I was, and like parts of those things, some things never change and some things continue to change. It's about balance. Tip 1 is to get to know yourself and really like discover your weaknesses, your strengths, your boundaries, like all those things. The second is to, once you know, look through other people's belief systems, like learn other belief systems and really like see what you resonate. Don't be afraid to read, don't be afraid to talk to people, don't be afraid to network, and just really take the time to learn and understand who people are. And that really helped me, because I'm like, okay, like I resonate with this, I don't resonate with that, and knowing what you don't like just as much as what you like, or what feels good just as much as what doesn't feel good, really helps you stay centered, because you're like, okay, I know I don't like this. So that is just as powerful as knowing you like something, because you're like, I don't like that, so I'm not going to go that way. The third is kind of affirming, like affirmations. So affirming that your beliefs, like especially if you're trying to change your belief from like something really limiting and negative to something more open and like, I guess, positive. It's really important to affirm, especially in that transition, because you're trying to change the way that you believe, and that is a very hard thing to do sometimes, because you've believed, especially if you've lived your whole life a certain way, or you've only learned something a certain way. Changing those beliefs can be it can take a lot of time. So really, in the transition of changing beliefs and learning what you believe, and like really just taking notice of that and using it as a tool, you really have to like affirm those beliefs are like real, and like give yourself like words of affirmation, sentences, or just reading things, making sure that you're consuming things that back up those beliefs. So like if you wake up in the morning, you know, you're not gonna immediately think like, oh, I don't believe this anymore. I mean, sometimes it's like that, but with some of those more deep-seated beliefs, it takes time. You're not gonna wake up and you're not gonna go watch like TV shows where like if you're trying to reshape your beliefs about love, you're not gonna go and watch all these shows, all these things about like, oh, they're cheating, relationships are bad, they never last, like all these things. You're not gonna go watch all that. You're not gonna consume all that. Yes, things like that happen in the world, but there's another side. Like things like that don't happen on another side of things. So like you're gonna wake up and you're going to listen to YouTube, like affirmations about love or self-worth. Like if you have beliefs about yourself not being worthy, you're gonna wake up and you're gonna listen to things that make me feel worthy. And it kind of ties into this whole list. Like really your beliefs connect to all of this, because your beliefs are linked to your happiness. Like how happy are you about a certain belief? Like, because if you believe something and it's a really kind of really heavy belief and it doesn't bring you anything joyous or peaceful, that's going to affect your happiness and like how serious you take your life. If you don't have good beliefs about your self-esteem, about yourself, about your worth, you're not going to take yourself very seriously. So, and then who you hang out with, your beliefs, like how, like I said, you're not going to go watch things that don't back up your beliefs, right? You don't want to hang out with people that aren't really helping back up your beliefs. Like it's okay to people have, you know, opposing or contrast in their life that contrast with your life. That's okay. But there's a point, like even if there's contrast, they should still be supportive of like you not having that contrast in your life. And that's kind of what that video was about. So she wants to be in the video more. So yeah, like your beliefs tie into like how worthy do you feel that you are to hang out with people that really love and support you, and how much effort do you believe you should put in, or your beliefs tie to how personally you take things. Like, if I believe everybody hates me, every time someone says something that makes me feel bad or contrast, then my beliefs are making everything personal. And then, like, your priorities, if you believe that feeding yourself is more important than showering, like, you're gonna feed yourself before you shower. That's a very simple one. Or it's like, if you really want, let's just say, an influx of income, that's always, I guess that I always bring up money in these things because I think that's one of my biggest projects, is like, I think that's everybody's biggest project, kind of. But like, your priorities, like, you're not going, if you wake up and you place something more important, you know, your beliefs are like, okay, money isn't everything, I don't need money to be happy. You're gonna put that so on the back burner that you're not gonna really be trying to prioritize learning how to have that prosperity and other stuff. So that really affects your priorities. Your beliefs also, going back to, like, if you think everyone hates you, then how kind you are. These are the ones I'm going to be covering soon. You're not going to be very nice to people, and you're not going to spread or attract kindness in other people because your beliefs are everyone hates you, so you hate everyone else. It's just how it works. And if your beliefs are what I'm eating, about what you eat, like, if your beliefs are, oh, like, there's a conspiracy that, if your beliefs are like, oh, fast food and grease and all this stuff isn't actually that bad for you, it's a conspiracy, everyone else eats it, so I can eat it. You're kind of, your beliefs are enabling you to eat, therefore, lots of unhealthy food, and it kind of like enables your emotions to feel okay with that. And like, if you're trying to eat healthier, or, you know, feed things to your body that are better, you know, your beliefs are kind of preventing you, because, so with everything, literally, like what you talk about, just like I said, you're not going to wake up and go watch Love and Hip Hop. If you're trying to heal a relationship with love and yourself, you're not going to go watch things that like bring up all the bad things about that. And you're not, it's so same with what you talk about, like, you're not going to like if you're trying to change your thoughts, changing your beliefs is really being very self-aware of your thoughts and knowing how to rewire them to fit what you want your reality to be. So after thoughts come speech, like communication. So I mean, it's okay to communicate and it's okay to talk about things and talk through things and stuff, but if you want to like build more meaningful friendships, like more realistic, genuine friendships, you're not going to go and be talking ish with all these other people, like being fake with them, talking about things you don't even want to talk about, wasting your energy and time on things that don't even resonate with you. You're not going to talk about, if you're trying to seek more peace in the world or find ways to help, you're not going to focus on all the bad things happening around you. You're going to like focus on things that bring you peace, that bring you clarity. You're not going to chase confusion. So it's the same with what you talk about, because when you talk about things, they kind of are in your consciousness. So therefore, things in your consciousness, you kind of seek subconsciously, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but okay. And really, like what you believe in, like what, like watching and what you think about and stuff like that. The what you think about's the next one, and you guys kind of probably get the gist of like how this all ties into each other. And what you believe is heavily affecting how open-minded you are. That's going to be our last one of this series, and I'm going to go into depth about all these. I just wanted to kind of go through that because what you believe really does affect all of those things that you have control over in your life. So if you want more of a grasp, and when I say control, I just mean like leverage. Like there's things I can wake up and I can do. Like I can't control how someone treats me, but I can control how I treat myself. So that sets the standard for how I want people to treat me, and I can choose. Like control is really a choice. Like, so what I can choose, things I can choose is the same thing as things that I can control. So control is really in your choices. So when I say control, I'm not saying like, oh, you need to control everything in your life. Like it's not a power trip or a need for control. It's just more like balance. Like there's things you can't control and there's things you can control. So if you focus on the things that you can control, but detach yourself from the outcome of that control and kind of just be and make sure that it's wholesome for you and it's adding health and wealth to your life. Like, that is all that matters. So like, we really, your beliefs and how open-minded you are, like, those are, you could choose to learn so those are altered, and you can change them, and you can be more of a sponge to all the possibilities in life, rather than, you know, not acknowledging yourself, not choosing to learn or open your mind. Like, they say one of the best things you could do for yourself in life is remain a student, and that's kind of what that is, being open-minded. That'll really help hand in hand with those beliefs. Like, if you're trying to change your beliefs, learning to change your limiting beliefs will open your mind, and opening your mind will help you change your beliefs. So those are like best friends. So really, I'm telling you, it's deep. Like, but knowing your beliefs, like, even if you're not religious, even if you're not spiritual, like, knowing what you believe in and choosing to believe in something that excites you and brings so much passion and knowledge and all those things you ever wanted. Like, it's okay to want material things, it's okay to want money, it's okay to want to eat healthy, it's okay to care about your passions and your creative work, but all of those things aren't going to change if you don't dive into your beliefs. Because if you think, like, okay, for example, one of my goals is, of course, in my life, I would love to write a book. And for me, if I think, oh, I'm a shitty writer, no one's ever gonna watch this, no one's ever gonna read this, or whatever. And same with YouTube. I'm thinking, oh, I'm annoying, no one's ever gonna watch this. Well, people don't talk about these things and whatever, which sometimes I do believe, and so I will bring them up and use them. No one is ever gonna, because I'm not gonna act on it. I'm acting on what my beliefs are. So it's like, even if you have to fake it till you make it, that's literally how I've done a lot of things in my life. It's fake it till you make it. It's pretty much believing it's already done, or you already are that before you're that. And that is kind of what manifestation is. It really is fake it till you make it, except fake it till you make it kind of sounds a little fake. It sounds a little sometimes passive aggressive or inconsiderate when people tell you to fake it till you make it, but I'm telling you in the most genuine way. Like, if you already believe that people care and you are what you want to be and you have everything you need, you are that, and you're going to act on that. You're going to act out of the belief, like, I am enough and people are going to want to read this and watch this. So you put in your best self and you do it beautifully. So that's how important beliefs are. So A, soul search. B, affirmations. C, realizing how your beliefs tie into everything in your life, and networking into each of those things, and just studying, you know, like affirmations, studying, networking, talking to people, being open-minded to other people's ideas and stuff. And then and some of my other videos, it really goes down to, you know, taking action on those beliefs. Like, they always say, like, the thing about manifestation, I think some people think that, oh, I just can believe that I'm gonna get it and I don't have to do anything to get it. Like, no, I think that's one of the worst things, because honestly, I have some stories about that, and I feel like that's gotten me into a little bit of trouble at one point, where, like, I just thought I'm manifesting and, like, I just didn't, like, kind of grasp the idea. Like, I kind of have to take inspired action to, you know, open myself and prepare myself to receive these kinds of things. Because, like, if you're trying to write a book's just not gonna magically appear in the bookstore, you know, and, oh, I manifested that. No, like, you have to write the book. You have to put your passion and creativity into writing the book. You know, manifesting it is just kind of like taking that role, like almost like role play. Like, I am a writer. I am that writer, and this is what I want to write, and I'm excited to write it. And then you do it, and you're manifesting, like, oh, I'm going to hit a lot of people with this. Like, it's going to spread far out. It's really just like paying attention to those thoughts and those desires, launching those desires, and kind of just, like, you know, then taking inspired action and being patient and being grateful for what you have in the time process, like being relaxed, not frantically like losing your mind and your health over what you're trying to do. Like that's kind of like with the hustle culture, which I've mentioned in the last couple videos. That's kind of like what that is. And I realized that I can have balance. Like I don't have to, you know, and that's a belief. That's a belief I learned. I used to believe that you had to grind and cause yourself pain and hurt yourself to get everything you ever want. And it's like, you don't have to do that. I mean, yeah, you know, working for what you want some days can be a little bit more tough than others. You could fall out of the, you know, the groove, the flow, and it could feel bad sometimes. And you can feel like defeated, but it doesn't mean that you're like not manifesting, and it doesn't mean that you have to keep experiencing that pain to manifest what you want. It's just kind of like there's contrast, and life comes in waves and stuff, and it's has nothing to do with that. You don't have to like be in pain the whole time of your journey. Like the whole journey, you're not supposed to be suffering and pain, like feeling like oh, I'm not gonna eat until I have this. Like no, you don't have to do that. And that's a belief that I had to change in myself, because I used to think like that, and now I don't. And a lot of time, and what you believe will back you up in your reality. And it wasn't easy to change my beliefs, because based on like, you know, you only know what you see around you. So yeah, that's kind of like what it is. And then really, yeah, inspired action. And then the last thing, support what you believe, is never stop learning. Like I said, be a student. That was like the last one. Be a student to your own life. And no matter how many times you wrote in those journals, like no matter how many times you asked yourself those questions, you are not the same person you were yesterday, not even an hour ago. Like you are always changing. And never stop learning or asking yourself questions. Never stop getting to know yourself, and always keep your mind open. Because like there's times where I thought I had it all figured out, or I had a belief as high as I could get it. And yes, at the time that is high as I could get it. But then I learned more, and I'm like, you know what? My new belief that I have, that was my limiting, like I changed my limiting belief, and I got this better belief system, and it brought so much to me. But then one day you kind of like, you'll wake up and you'll learn more, and you're like, wow, my belief that I thought wasn't a limiting belief is now a limiting belief, because what used to serve me doesn't serve me like that anymore. And I have to therefore get ready to change again. I have to transcend. So it's kind of like never stop being a student, and like, you know, ride your wave like with your new knowledge, and, you know, really apply it. But if things start to feel stale, just know that never stop learning or asking yourself the important questions on how to elevate and transcend. Like I am a student for life, like, and that's what really has gotten me to places that I am and made me the person that I am. Like I just never stop learning. Like it doesn't matter what it is. Like how can I better myself, and how can I better the world around me by being my best self? And it's just, it's fun. It really is fun being confident that even in your worst moments where you feel like absolutely terrible, you know that this is a learning experience, and everything is going towards the greater good. Like even on your worst days, you know, you break down, you aren't your best self. That was your best self in that moment, because it takes a lot of bravery to really feel some of the things that you need to feel and learn from them and express things, especially for people who have a hard time expressing themselves due to just the way they were raised or relationships they've been in and stuff. So, you know, really, like even in your low moments, even if you don't feel like a bad bee, you know, just know that like a student is a student regardless of the situation. A student, you could put a student in any situation and it's still a student. It doesn't matter how good or bad the situation is. It's like you're still learning, and that's all that matters. And that is what makes your brain an open door, really. It's like if you keep your brain an open door and you learn how to strengthen that like critical thinking of like, I'm open, but I am going to critically examine everything that I'm learning and see what applies. And I'm the proof of what is real and what's not, because like with knowledge, when you learn like things and you're like, okay, how do I know if this is real? Literally, like, you can tell, like the more you are open to learning, the stronger your intuition gets, kind of. And it's like, when you learn things, you can kind of tell when information doesn't feel right, or it doesn't resonate, or it doesn't seem like completely accurate. You can kind of tell. And that just goes with experience too, because there's things that I thought were the right way and I acted those out in my life, and then I was like, oh, that wasn't right at all. I thought that was like the only way, and then I like learned that it wasn't. So really, it's trial and error, and that's part of the journey. I mean, if I knew everything, I don't think life would be fun. Like, to be honest, because sometimes I think I know everything, and when I think I know everything, I realize that I'm like, this is kind of boring. I'm like, and just knowing that you don't have it all figured out is kind of like the best thing too with your belief system, is like having that balance of like, I have enough figured out, and I'm never gonna get everything figured out, but I'm figuring it out as much as I can. It's kind of just like peace, because it's like, I don't feel pressured to be figuring everything out frantically, but I feel confident in what I have figured out. And just knowing there's so much more to figure out gives you that like freedom of like, it's okay, I'm gonna make mistakes, I'm not gonna feel good all the time, and I'm okay with that, because there's so much more to learn, you know, and experience, and that's how I'm gonna achieve and be everything I want to be in this life. So yeah, that's my video for today. I'm really glad I got to make it. I was about to skip out on it, but that all just flew right out. I read what I had to do today. I'm like, oh, beliefs. I'm like, that's kind of a deep topic. I don't know if I could talk about this right now. I might need to take some notes first or something, but I'm like, no, let's just wing it. Let's talk about it. Because honestly, I have a lot of beliefs, and like I said, I'm very spiritual, so I kind of like talk about a lot of the stuff on the daily if, you know, people are down to talk about it. But yeah, thank you for watching my channel. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much. And to let me know that you made it to the end of the video, maybe give me a thumbs up. And if you didn't make it to the end of the video, you're probably not seeing this, but I hope you left a thumbs up, because that would help my channel a lot. I do get more views than I get likes, and you know, I understand if you didn't like it, but maybe if you don't like it, maybe just give me a thumbs up and it'll encourage me to keep making better videos, because that's how it goes. Okay, bye guys, I love you. Say bye to Coda. Boy. Mwah. Couldn't leave Layla out. Say bye, Layla.